Set up here, and we're gonna get started in just a minute. Just want to get myself online here and make sure everything is looking good on my computer screen. So give me 2 seconds as I set everything up and head over to my view so I can see what's going on. Let me just go my channel here and get on my stream. Let me see I want to see what this looks like. Okay, let's see. All right. I think everything is looking okay. Yeah, I think everybody could see pretty good here. Let me just, okay. So I can't get on my computer for whatever reason. We've been having really bad connection problems, which I didn't do an upload last week, and that's why. So I'm just going to talk about making some last minute holiday cards today, and I'm always last minute with everything, so these are perfect for me. So sometimes I pick up these cards, and I really like looking for these kind of ones that are kind of made out of craft paper, because I really like them. And sometimes I use my own cards if I have like an overrun of something, or ones that are outdated, that because I make my own cards out of my own artwork too. And then sometimes I take ones like these if I can find them, you know, on the clearance rack or something. But then I really like the ones that have like craft paper envelopes, because they're kind of I really like that look. And then what I do, like I like these, I have 2 packages of these that I think I paid like $1.99 for a whole box. And this just has a basic, because I have friends of all different, you know, backgrounds and stuff. So this just says peace, love, and joy. It's a general message. And then what I do is I, you know, make my own art thing on the front, an original art piece on the front. So that's what I like to do. And so today what I'm going to do is just kind of show you how I start those out using, I don't know, bits of collage, and then sometimes I paint into them. And, you know, I start out with my collage box and I kind of go through. It's just kind of a fun thing to do. And then today I kind of had a little idea, because I really like the peace idea, because you know, what's wrong with peace, you know? I really like the idea of a Brock style bird, and Brock is one of the fathers of, along with Picasso, and he's far less famous, but he's one of the fathers of modern cubism. And so he's known for these. Oh, this is a bad pen. All right, just ignore my terrible pen that I picked up. But he's one of the fathers of modern cubism, and he's known for these kind of stylized doves, right, and birds. But they're, to me, always a symbol of peace. And so this is a really good time of year to, and then let's see, You probably can't see the outline because I just did a contour. So I'm gonna just show you one of these Brock birds. So I was thinking, like, you know, just to incorporate some of these Brock bird shapes onto these cards. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna paint them or cut them out of collage, you know, of already painted pieces of paper. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do it yet. I never really have a solid plan. This is gouache, but I'll probably do these in acrylic. I just wanted you to see, like, the basic shapes of these are, they're kind of, you know, very stylized, right? So now I have purple on here, so just ignore me while I play. But they're very interesting, and I thought, like, something very simple and kind of organic like this on a collage background would be really fun. I mean, I could literally just paint these over some collage and they would be really cool. Or just maybe the outlines of those. I've always loved those forms. So I thought I would do some like that. I mean, I won't probably do them all like that, but, and maybe overlap some of those shapes. This is just kind of an idea I had. But the Brock bird is something I've just always loved this. I mean, I don't have a reference right now, so these are not his birds, but they're based on that idea of the Brock bird. Okay, and so now I'm just kind of doing my own version of it, but definitely that is my inspiration, and that's what I'm thinking, because I'm always a little bit troubled by unrest, and I love the message of peace. I really like this one. I like the shape of the head of that one. So, like, sometimes when I'm just playing like this, I can, like, I like how this one has that more of a raised head. It looks more dove-like. So I'm just kind of messing around here today. And okay, there we go. So I just, when I'm playing like this, I'm always trying to kind of find my way, right? And so this is just a scrap right here. All right, so I'm just kind of playing right now to see what shapes I want to play with. And I'm gonna put this aside, and this is gouache. Now, I don't think I'll work in gouache, but, you know, maybe I would paint some in gouache and cut them out and use those as collage or something. Those are larger than I need. But I think the first part of this would be just to go through the collage box and pull some stuff out and see what I want to slap down on this paper before I go any further. And a lot of times I just take some stuff that's interesting to me. But I also like to look at things like printed papers, things that are black and white. I have all kinds of stuff in my collage box. I just got to go through. All right, let's look at it. I'm going to pick it up and go through. So I have all kinds of stuff in here. It's kind of random. I have way more than this, which is frightening. It's a little scary. Oh, there's my scissors. The last time we did collage, I kind of, but I have a lot of this kind of thing, which is just painted papers. I'm looking for stuff like this that I might have cut out of. I have some, you know, just old abstracts that I painted. But I also like, let me see. I have to go deeper than I have in a while. I love stuff like music notes, things like this. I'm looking for, okay. There's an old map. That'll look nice. Those are the kinds of things I want for a background, I think, you know, in the background, just kind of hanging out. This looks like a Jasper Johns painting, maybe. Then I have random things like collage pieces from the, these are jelly prints. Black and white paintings, abstracts that have been cut up, things like this. This is what I'm looking for. These pieces are from, we used to have a whole box of photocopies from when I worked at the museum. We had boxes and boxes of this. I like to call it museum collage. And then some of this stuff is just paintings from old art magazines. These can be really fun to collage and into the backgrounds of things. Scrapbook papers, jelly prints. You know, these are all just, they become design elements and kicking around the background, okay? Collage is just like something I really love because it's such a jumping off point for me. Sometimes it's really fun to do. I love it. It makes a huge mess. So be prepared for the mess. But it is really fun. Some of these are ladies I like to paint from. Or inspirations for painting sometimes. Just trying to see why I saved that. Oh, that. Yeah. Right. Now that's something we could tear up. Some of this stuff will go right back in the box, but you know, other things we could really actually use. That's a jelly. Some of these things that are just black and white are really good. These are from my painting palettes, and it's just a pop of color. I like some of that stuff. This is the museum collage. These are all from abstract ink drawings. Those could be good. This is another abstract painting I cut up. This is a good neutral piece of printed paper. The maps are really cool. Very bright. I'm going to put some of these dark abstract or black and whites all together. It's really pretty. You'll see. You'll see what I do. Some of these paintings can be really fun. The abstractions can be really interesting, but I also like just printed paper sometimes. All right. Now, I love stuff like this. Now, I might go get more dictionary page, because dictionary pages are just like a neutral to me. And I love the old printing, because I have some really old ones. So I might go grab more of that. These jelly prints are really fun to use. I do like music notes, and I have more music notes that I'll probably use. More of this black and white stuff is just like a neutral, and the printed paper and all those beigey tones, all that. This is a jelly. So I have a good jumping off point. I'm going to start with some of these neutral colors. I think we'll do one and you'll see where I'm headed. You'll see what I'm thinking once you see me do one. Because these are really fun, and I really love making these. I make them every year. Now, I'm going to grab some stuff. Let's make two. I think sometimes when you make more than one, you don't get stuck when you make more than one at a time, because you're not so hung up. I love this gold. So this is a part of a jelly print that I made, and it's just really fun. And a lot of times when I make a lot of jellies at once, I cut them up and then use them in a project. Let's get this guy out of here. I'm gonna close up my gouache so I don't get it all over, because this is kind of a semi-moist gouache, and I know I'm gonna end up putting stuff all into it before I'm done here. So I'm gonna create kind of a little bit of a neutral background. And I'm doing all of this randomly. I sometimes don't cut because I like the raw edge. But a lot of this old paper doesn't tear in a uniform kind of way. So it's harder to use that way. So anyway, I'm gonna just get started here. I'm gonna really put a lot of stick glue down. Okay. I'm just gonna get it all on there, and I'm gonna look around for my, I do have one of my, no, that's not it. I need the little thing that I use to squish everything down. Let me grab that. Hold on a second. Here it is. So I usually like to use either a plastic squeegee or a regular one. And I'm going to use one of my own paintings, I think, on this one. And these are just some black and white abstracts I had. Sometimes I generate a lot of artwork, and I have stuff like this. Now, if I don't cover this whole thing, I'm not going to really worry. If it overlaps, and sometimes they do, that's okay, because I'm just going to cut around the edge. Because then I can just go back. And anything that hangs over the edge, I'm just gonna take off like that. See, it's just easier than trying to trim it to size, right? And then you just take it off, and it looks really nice and neat on this side. Okay. This is really cool. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a piece of this. Let's see. All right. So I have this really nice piece of this blue and gold. I'm going to add it on the top here. Now, all right. So this is one I like. So this is really neutral right now, okay? I like that one. That's a background, okay? So that's not a finished card at all. I'm just going to get a couple done like this with this kind of neutral background. Now this is an actual painting that I'm preparing here, but it doesn't have to go. This does not have to go the way the painting is oriented. Okay, I don't need to do that. All right. I'm just gonna do a random collage here. And I have just a regular glue stick here. Some people, you know, even though this is a handmade card, they may not keep this, so I'm not trying to make a piece of art that lasts forever, although some people might recognize that you went through trouble to make it. Other people might not notice, you know, they might just toss it. Okay, now I have some of these other ones. This. Yeah, okay. So I just keep looking to see what I have, what might work. Yeah, these are fun to do. And it depends on what you have. If you don't have your own work or something, you know, old magazines or something are fine, or new magazines are fine. You don't have to go crazy. You can also generate some of this stuff. Like you could just make this stuff and then use it, cut it right up. This is a acrylic painting on paper that I cut up. Sometimes I have a lot of extra artwork just because I do a lot of demos in class, and you know, they aren't finished pieces, they're studies. So I just cut them up, throw them in the collage box, and I have them for things like this, little projects. Now this is a big piece of that gold. I can throw that right in the corner, and then we could be ready to go. Because it doesn't really matter, because we're going to be making things for the top of this, okay? Let's see. All right, that's good. All right, now, I think the first thing I'm going to do to get ready for this project, and it won't take a minute. Okay. Now these are interesting already. I feel like they're interesting. Maybe, yeah. So these are just a basic collage background. This guy doesn't want to stick. So we're really going to get after it until the glue dries. All right, so these are just the two cards that I threw together, the tops, okay? So one I'm going to paint, and one I'm going to put the, one I'm going to paint a design on with the acrylic paint, and I'll show you how I do that. And then this one, I'm going to do the Brock birds on top, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is just grab a basic piece of really thin paper. All right, so I'm going to put those aside so I don't get stuff all over them, but I do need to know. I need to know how big this card is. So I'm going to draw around it like this. Because I draw very large most of the time. It's just what I do. Okay, so if I don't have a box that shows me how big I can draw, I will go crazy and I will not contain myself. I just need to know how big I can go because otherwise I get out of control. All right, so I love, this is my little reference. These are my shapes of birds, okay? So now I'm gonna do some of these guys here. And I don't really need to look at them, but I do kind of want to cut. I want to do some of these shapes. And I don't mind that I kind of love when shapes go off the page. I really do love that. I love that about certain things. I love this bird. Okay, so there's one. I love this face. All right, there's that bird. And I think every one could be possibly different, you know. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to grab some, gotta get this out of the way. Because I'm such a messy, I make such a big mess when I make artwork. It's crazy how messy I can be. So, but I get right into it and then I clean my entire mess. Then I make another one. So that's how I work. Just, if you haven't already noticed, I love to make a mess. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna grab, now I don't know why, but I think I wanna do these in a dark, kind of a blue color. I'm thinking dark. This is ultramarine blue. I like, yeah, that's the color I'm kind of visualizing these in. So this is acrylic paint. It's gonna dry really fast. So I'm gonna make these in a dark blue color. Boop. I'm just gonna get in there. I have a little bit of water over here. And I'm just gonna paint these guys with this color. Okay. Now, this is just regular paper. This isn't even like mixed media paper or anything. I'm just painting these on like a thin piece of, it's not even drawing paper. And I could have just, I didn't really have to draw these. I could have just painted them. And actually, if I make more of these, I'm going to just paint them. And I'm not sure. I probably could have just painted them right over that. I'm not sure if I could have. Because sometimes a lot will bleed through, and I kind of like the chunkiness of collage. So I'm just gonna go in, I'm gonna paint these, and I'm gonna see how that looks. Yep. And I'm spreading this out. I don't want to leave any globs, because when if you leave a glob, it takes longer to dry. And so I'm gonna really spread the paint out. Yep. Okay. This is fun. Now, like once I start getting in here and doing the painting part, it's really, I have such a good time with this. I love it. So, here we go. Trying to figure out what to do about my phone cord here. Okay, here we are. All right, there it goes. There we are. And I didn't put it down a lot. I only put out the amount of paint I need when I'm painting because acrylic dries so fast. And so, what's this? Oh, this is cobalt. This is cobalt blue. All right, I'm gonna get the rest of this with the ultramarine, and then I'm gonna add, because I like to layer the paint, I'm gonna go over it with a little bit of the cobalt, which is a very similar color, but not quite the same. It will give it more texture, okay? So that's what I'm doing now. Cobalt and ultramarine are very close to each other on the color wheel. They're just slightly different. And so they're very much colored neighbors. And when you put them together like this, I'm just going to add a little bit more dimension to these pieces. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Okay. All right. So, yeah, and this is kind of making it a little bit more opaque, which is what I want. And I'm also kind of spreading out that color a little bit more. And there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put these birds aside and I'll let them dry. They will take 2 seconds to dry. Honestly, they won't take very long. All right, now, okay, let's see. Oh, okay, so here I have, and this is the really inexpensive kind of gold paint that I use. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna blob out some. It's really nice though. Even though this is gold craft paint, I have like the really expensive kind, but for cards and stuff like that, I don't use it. Honestly, I don't. I use this, and that's what I use. Okay, I have a regular, not heavy pencil here. And I'm gonna do just a simple, a star here. And I'm just gonna lightly sketch it so I know. But I don't wanna sketch it too dark because I wanna make sure that it's not gonna show after I paint. Okay, so now I'm just gonna grab this. Okay. Here's my, I'm always looking for my paper towel. I like to get all the water off after cleaning. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a big, on this one, I'm just gonna put a gold star on it. I'm gonna paint right over my collage with a gold star. That's all I'm doing here. Now, I've also done things like, you know, I've made things like I've painted holiday tree shapes, things like that on these, which I think come out cute. But you could put whatever you want on here. Now, so you can still see this collage here, but now we're gonna have this really fun star painted on. The thing about using these upcycled cards is that they come with an envelope, so you can pop them right in. You're just doing a little zhuzhing here. I might add a little bit of red paint to this because I think it'll look pretty. And I wasn't really planning, but that little, the little piece of painted paper has a little green on it. It's a little festive, I guess. It's kind of starting to look festive. All right, so I'm gonna get a little bit of this red here. and maybe just paint a little bit on the inside of the gold. So, I mean, I don't honestly have a plan here. I'm just kind of playing. And that's the fun thing about making these. Okay, so I'm doing this. And making two at a time, whatever you're doing on one, the other one can be drawing while you're doing this. I think that's kind of fun. All right, now I'm wiping off my brush again. And I'm just coming into the middle a little bit with some more gold. And then I'm gonna be done with this guy. And I'm gonna put it aside, and we're gonna look at the birds. Those birds, theoretically, should be dry, okay? So here's a little star. We're gonna just leave it for a minute, okay? Because this has gotta dry. And there's the little painting in the background. There's the abstract here, a little bit of words, but you can't really read them now. And a little piece of painted paper in the corner. Okay, so I'm gonna put this guy away. Let it dry on the side. That one looks cute. Okay, now this guy. Okay, hold on. Hold on to your hats, folks. This has, it's almost dry. It's not quite 100% dry. So let's see. Let's see what we can do about that. Yep. All right, I'm gonna cut these out. And then I'm gonna put them aside because they're not 100% dry yet, but I do wanna get them cut out of here. They're barely damp. And then I'm gonna make 2 more backgrounds, I think. We'll try to do 2 more backgrounds while these guys are really drying. Because acrylic, it shouldn't take another couple minutes for these guys to dry 100%. All right, let's get these guys going here. But I want to cut them out because I want to see what they're going to look like on the paper. I am just dying to see what that looks like. Because I want to see if I'm on the right track, I guess that's what it is. I want to make sure, because otherwise I'll just start painting them directly onto the next set of cards. Because I don't want to end up having to wait around for them to dry to glue them on. Okay. It's just sticking a little bit to my hand, and I don't want that. Because I need to be able to squeegee it and stuff. Okay, so let's see. Oh. Okay. So you can kind of see what it's gonna look like when I do that. I gotta be careful not to get the paint in other places. See, I think that these will be very nice. Especially when you use a vibrant color next to the neutrals, you know. And so that was the idea I had to do this year, was these Brock birds, kind of in the style of Brock. But, you know, I'm obviously doing them in my own way. If you're not familiar with his work, I mean, he's a fabulous painter. I always think that Picasso must have had a better publicist, because Brock's not nearly as famous, but he's a fabulous painter. So anyway, here's the second. And I think that those will look really, really fun. I love them. Okay. And so I can vary the colors if I chose to, or put a blue one and a pink one, or a blue one and another color, white or something. But I do love them. Okay, so I'm gonna just put this guy aside and I'm gonna add, I do like them with the collage. So I'm actually wondering if I should, yeah, I really like them with the, I like the collage pieces, so I'm almost wondering if I should do more that way. What a quandary I have now. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna try some on the same paper. Try some on the same paper. Try some on the same paper using maybe I'll try one with gouache, because gouache is pretty opaque, so we're gonna just do a tester. And it looks like I can get 3 out of each sheet of this paper. Okay. You got to just try different things. So I'll try one and I'll try another one with I'll try another one with acrylic and another one with gouache. And this time I'm going to just paint the birds on. That's what I think I'll do this time. And see how those come out. Because I certainly don't have to draw them first. I think they came out much more fluid when I painted them. Well, sometimes it's just, you're gonna get a more fluid look. What's this? This is more cerulean, which I don't need. And then, let's see, where is the ultramarine? Okay, I could do manganese. Oh, I don't think I want that color. I want my ultramarine blue. Let's see. This is not the right color. Here we go. Let's try this one. Okay, let's try. Let's just say. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna just go in and paint. So I sometimes pretend that I don't have a boundary, because I don't mind things that are painted off the page, okay? And you want everything to look fluid. So if you go off the page naturally, because I have like a little guideline there that I'm trying to stick to, but like if I go off the page and then I have to cut out, that's fine, you know? So here's what I'm doing with regular acrylic. And I'm gonna try to do a thin layer like I did last time, because I do want it to dry fairly quickly. And I did really like the look of the collage, which is why I'm persisting with not painting directly onto the card itself, which I could do, but it may not be as opaque, and I won't get that dimensional quality that I'm looking for, and I really do like that. And I like the texture that it adds. I like the dimension. I love collage. Collage is very, I don't know, there's something about it for me that I really I really love. Okay. So now I think this bird I will have go this way. Okay. So now I'm just kind of figuring out where the birds are going to fly on my card. And I'm going to just get in there and get them painted. Okay. And then I'm going to do them on the other one of these. I'm going to try gouache and see if that dries any faster. And I'm trying not to use thick paper. And now if I used like watercolor paper or something, it probably would dry faster because it would absorb it quicker. But I don't want to have to deal with heavy card and attaching that to that card I'm using. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going for really graceful lines, I guess, when I'm painting this bird. Okay, there we go. All right, now this one, I'm gonna turn this guy around, let him dry. Now, my other ones are drying really well. Now I'm gonna go in here into my gouache. And I'm going to do a good squish with my water because I've got to wake these up, even though this is kind of a semi-moist gouache. Because this is tube gouache in here that I squished in to my palette here. And then I just refill it as I go along. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing here again. I'm just going to paint. I'm not going to draw first. I'm just going to paint these guys in, and then I'm going to cut them out. Here, I'm going to get this off because I know I'm going to get paint on it. All right. I'm going to put these over here. Okay. I'll let those dry. Then I'm going to paint birds here. Okay. Now, let's see. All right, let's put these guys here so we could look at them. So now I have a whole bunch of things to look at. My own birds. Okay. Now I think what I want to do on this one is have maybe a pink one. Maybe a pink one, like I did the first time around. I'm gonna do now. This is a really nice gouache with a really pretty set of colors. This is the Shinhan gouache, and I really love it. I love the colors that it has. Okay, we'll see how this does, because you get really good coverage with it. This is a professional gouache that really is not very pricey. Like some of the other ones are outrageously priced. Now this one, it's pretty light fast. It's a professional gouache. I reviewed this on my channel, and I can link to that review in the description box. I really like it. I use it quite a bit, and I have other ones like M. Graham and Winsor Newton, which are the very pricey ones, and this one really holds up. I really like these paints. Okay, so there's a magenta, which is a really bright one, and the gouache. And let's see, let's go for something darker. Oh, maybe I'll just use this one. All right, now this is, okay. I'm gonna put this guy flying this way. Okay. So this is the gouache. Now the second one is M. Graham gouache, which is very pricey. And it's just as vibrant as the, I mean, you can't really feel a difference when you're painting with a really pricey gouache. And it's double the price. Okay, so now let me do this. And I'm going to put these guys aside so that they can dry. Okay. So here, yeah, I don't know why this is taking so long. Okay. This guy, oh, I think I cut him off on an angle. And I need to cut him off straight if he's going to fit. Let's do that. And then this guy can go. I really have to figure out where I want him position-wise. Nice. I like it like that, I think. Okay. So I'm just going to stick him down. Oh, this one's white. That's weird. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to stick this guy down carefully and try not to get the blue paint anywhere, because it's not 100% dry still. But yeah, that's great. I love it. Well, I guess it's dry enough now. Okay, and then this guy, I'm going to plop him over like that. Okay, yeah. Nice. That's going to look great. Okay. Yeah. And I do really like the collage. So I think I'm just going to continue. Although I should try one that I just paint on and see if I really don't like it. All right, so I'm going to make 2 more. I just wanted to kind of show you what those other ones look like, and that's why I made them. Now see, I already think, well, we'll look at the gouache once it's 100% dry and see what that would look like. Gouache, just even if you apply it really carefully, it always looks a little less opaque because it dries a little bit uneven, where the acrylic paint is more of a solid kind of a look. All right, so I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna do some more backgrounds, and this is the acrylic paint, which it's more substantial. And you get brush strokes, and I use 2 colors, so I get more dimension. So I'm gonna put those guys aside still to dry. All right. And then I'm gonna do 2 more fronts. I'm gonna collage 2 more fronts. I'm gonna close up this gouache. And then what I think I might do is I might paint directly onto a cover. All right, let's get this paint out of here before I'll get it all over something, because that's how I roll. That is how I roll, folks. I am really bad at getting paint on stuff. Oh, let's see. I see everybody. Hi. Hi, Carlos, and hi. What do we have here? Mamta Gupta, how are you? Pokemon, how are you? I see everybody. I have not been able to get this stream open for weeks. It's good to see everybody. Hello, hello. I am so happy that you are here. So we're making handmade Christmas cards from either cards that you already have. Say you had cards left over from last year. You don't want to send them out again, right? So let's just recover those covers. If you're last minute, like I sometimes am, these are all going out tomorrow. It's so terrible. I'm awful. All right, so I have scrapbook paper here. I have some, what else? Magazine pages. And then I'm just gonna paint and add some details. All right, so let's see. This little jelly print I think is really fun. So I'm gonna cut this out and I'm gonna add it to the next 2 that I make, okay? This one has been sitting in the box for a while. I'm gonna cut this guy out. Oh my goodness. This one's not bad. I kind of like it. And then, all right. I like these music notes, but we're gonna get rid of whatever this says on top. But we could just add those in. This is for the neutral background. Right now we're gonna build like that neutral background here. I'm gonna make 2 more fronts because I don't wanna, then I'm gonna wonder about these. I think these are too big. I don't think I could actually use these. Plus I drew and it's very messy. I can't use those. All right, so now I'm gonna get some, all right, let's see what I have in here. No, I wanna use some museum collage, like I like to call it. Let's see what else I have that we could add. We're looking for neutrals here. Oh, painting scraps, more of that. What's this guy doing? Some kind of exotic lady. This is a piece of a painting palette. Those look really cool sometimes. Here's a painting. More paintings. All right, we have enough. That's all we need. We don't need a lot. We just need a little. We just need a little bit. Okay, now let's see. Oh, sometimes I like to. Sometimes they take, sometimes they just take writing out of an old book or something like that. This can be really nice, just neutral, just like a scrap that has writing like this. By the time you're done collaging onto your piece, you can't really tell what that was. Okay, so now we have all these little pieces that we're gonna figure out something with, okay? All right, so here we have our 2 card fronts, okay? And remember, it just says peace, love, and joy on the inside, something easy to work with. Who could be against that message? I don't even know. If you're anti-peace, love, and joy, I don't even know. You wouldn't be a friend of mine, because that's all I'm about. I'm about everybody getting along. I don't know. I don't know what else I can say. And I love music, so I like the idea of the music notes. Let's see. Let's figure this out. Okay, so maybe that. I don't know. Okay, get some music, a little bit of music onto these, because I like the idea of the music notes. Okay, that one could go there. All right. I don't really worry too much about how I orient these. If I add one of these pictures, I don't really worry about how I put them into the collage. If they go upside down or if they fit sideways, I don't really think about it too much. They don't have to go the way they were or they're supposed to go. They can go sideways, they can go upside down, they can go backwards. However they fit is how I put them in. I don't think about it at all. If they fit into the composition of my collage is all I worry about, how they're going in. Now, I kind of really liked this jelly print. And I really wanted, see, it's so neutral that I really love the way it looks with this. And I think it's gonna work really well with whatever I put with it. This will be nice, I think. This. I kind of like using some of this painting too. Okay. Now, I'm just using these little paintings here as a background, so I really don't think about them in any other kind of way when I'm putting them in. So if this gets covered up or part of it gets covered up when I'm putting down the other pieces of collage, I'm not going to worry about that or think about it. I can't, once this goes down, it's a background, I don't concern myself with any other part of it. All right. I actually like this. I love that. I like, and these things are, you know, completely and wholly your choice about how you put them in, because I just kind of lay them down till I'm happy with what they look like. I take things out, I put things in. When I'm happy with what it looks like, then I'm done, you know. So I kind of just let things kind of evolve with them, and I don't worry about anything else really. Right. Okay. Um, no. No. Okay. All right, so I just kind of figure it out, and then I just lay it all down. And actually, sometimes I change stuff around, like I do. I don't know. All right. Okay. So now I'm just gonna do. So yeah, this is a really good way to use up those extra cards. Like I sometimes buy like, or make cards, and then I'm like, I'll have more than one kind of a holiday card for a season, and then I won't remember who got which one, you know. So I'm like, oh boy, now what do I do? So I will reuse those cards this way too. So if there's an open box, then that's the other thing I do with the open box, is that I can use them this way, and then I know that I'm not going to send somebody the same card twice in a row, because this way I'm just kind of reusing it. Okay. And a lot of times I just really just have to just keep going until I'm happy with the way something looks. And that's what you should do. When you're happy with the way, oh, I like the way she looks upside down. See, that was just a complete, I hadn't tried her upside down, and now I like her upside down. Because these are backgrounds now, what I'm making here. It doesn't have to be, but still, there's a compositional element to it. And I always say, and I say it all the time, that collage is a great way to play with composition and learn composition, because you're just moving stuff around in the easiest sort of way to figure out what looks great, right? All right, so that's one. I really like the way that looks. I think it looks really nice. There's just this little piece of painted paper that I think will look nice. And this is a painted piece of paper that I'm adding here. I think it looks really nice there. I mean, you could certainly send them just like that if you didn't want to add anything to them. I like adding these little painted elements. I think they look cute. Now these guys completely dried. Maybe because the second time I wasn't adding, I think I added too many layers too fast. The second time I went really quick. I brushed everything out better. These are the ones I just painted without drawing first. They're very spontaneous. Maybe that's better. These are my... And these are cards, so sometimes people will save them, and sometimes they'll just go right in the trash, so don't go overthinking anything. I think some people will realize that you handmade this card, and some people will just be like, oh, it's not cute, and throw it away. So don't go nuts. Okay? Don't go crazy making them, because they may not keep it after all your troubles. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this bird out, and then I want you to see something I'm going to do. Because this bird, I don't like how I did the head, so I'm going to do a little, I'm going to edit him with the scissors, okay? So sometimes, like, and this is a Matisse thing, right? Because Matisse used to just cut all his shapes out in the air. And so we can do the same thing. So I don't like the way I drew the head or painted the head. So I'm just going to come back in with my scissors and I'm going to fix it. Okay? So his head was too big, so I fixed it. I fixed it with the scissors. I didn't have to draw it. I'm trying to be quick because this is just a collage, and so that's what I did. Now, I'm not thinking about any of the things I laid down. I'm just trying to find the best position for the bird. If it covers some or all of my collage, I'm not going to worry about it. And so I'm going to lay everything out the way I like it, and then leave it for a minute while I address this one. Those came out cute. I like the way those look. Now I'm going to do this one. And if this doesn't come out laid out the way, 100% the way I had it the first time, I'm not going to worry. So these two go on. All right, so these are the first ones to go down. Now this is just a regular stick of glue, because this is not an art piece I want to last 800 years. And this is a painting that I'm gluing down right now. And it wasn't, I think it was just done on, it's not done on, probably done on heavy, very heavy drawing paper. Not even mixed media paper, this was. And it's ink, it's an ink and watered down acrylic paint. I think that's what it is. Ink and acrylic paint. That's what that is. Okay. All right, here we go. I think I have this guy here. This might go here. I think I have. Okay. No, I think I had this guy here. Ooh. Sometimes I take a picture of it with my phone and I can't remember how I had it. So you know what? I'm not gonna stress. I'm just gonna put it down and then not worry about it. And I had this guy over here, I think. I'm not really sure, but I'm not gonna worry about it. I think this is fine. Okay. I don't know. These are fun. Okay. All right. Let's look at the gouache. Now the gouache is dry now. Okay, so now I'm going to cut these guys out. And now the acrylic paint makes the collage much more substantial than the gouache does. It's also waterproof, which the gouache is not. So those are all considerations to make when you're making any kind of painted collage. So I normally do, if I'm going to paint paper for collage, I normally do. This is an experiment. And I experiment with everything all the time. Let's see, I do like the way the gouache looks. It's very vibrant. Gouache is so vibrant. And it's still giving me that collage look. Okay. So now I would find, where I want to put this guy. I like the pink, but I'm not sure the blue one's working. So I might just put this pink one here, like that. I don't know if I'll add the blue one to this because I'm not sure that it's working. But I do really like this pink one. See, I think that one can stand like that. I love how that looks with it. Yeah, that one I love. So you just kind of have to play with them. Now, I don't know that I would do more with the gouache, just because I know that can run. All right, so now I'm gonna go in and add these other birds here. All right, I'm gonna get this guy put in. And I do really like the collage with the acrylic paint. On the thinner paper, it looks really, I might have to cut off. No, I guess I can do this like that. Okay. It doesn't matter how much of this glue you use, because it when it dries, it's completely non-tacky. And if I have to cut anything that's over the edge, I just cut it. Now here, I didn't get enough on, so I just have to stick it back down and go like this. There we are. God, really beautiful. And I think these look really cool. Okay, so here are the ones I did with the birds. And I like the one with the single bird. This bird was not working with this particular color scheme with the pink and the black. I didn't think it worked well. So that, and then, I made such a mess. And here is my one with a star. Now, I don't know if I really like this one as much. Now, if I don't like it as much, I can do stuff like, I can say, I could come back in here now, and I can cover the parts that I don't like, okay? Actually, I'm going to just show you what that looks like, because I don't think I'm going to use this card the way it is, because I don't really like this painted star on here. So let's see what to do if you don't like it, right? I'm not going to use it like this, because I'm going to be honest with you and tell you that I don't like how that came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going back into the collage, okay? And then I'm going to say, let's see if I have more of that particular jelly print that I just used. I think I might. I just don't know what I did with it. Okay. We don't necessarily have to use that, though. I love this, which I think is absolutely stunning. So I'm going to use some of this, because we got to cover up some of that nonsense that has the star on it, right? I love this. This is beautiful. All right, so I have a piece of this. We have more of the paper that was originally there. So I'm going to cut a strip of this, because I don't want to cover up the things I love, which are, we already have. All right, so let's get some of this stuff covered. All right, let's go back. You can always fix this stuff. You don't like it? We're making collage. Now, collage is the easiest thing to fix, because we're just going to cover it with more paper. I love this Celtic design. Oh my gosh, gorgeous, right? So beautiful. I kind of feel bad, because I love this painting that I painted on top of, and now we're losing it, but what are you going to do? It's just what happened. Okay, now I'm going to cover that. Okay, now I have this kind of a rice paper, but I don't know. This is a little too transparent, probably. Maybe, yeah. That might be too transparent for this. Let me see. I don't want to put more writing. All right, I'm gonna go for another piece of trying to find my painting here. I'm digging through my pile here to find another. Oh, here. This is what I was looking for. Just because we only need a small amount of coverage here. Okay, so that's all I need. I'm gonna just do this. All right. Okay, so now I'm just gonna cover it all up, right? All right. We're gonna cover all of that back up. Oh, right, and then I think we said we wanted to try, the only thing we didn't try was painting directly onto the thing with the birds. Now, I'm gonna try it. See how it comes out. All right. Here we go. Now, I love this background. Now, I wasn't happy with the star. Now we have a fresh slate here. A new fresh slate, so we're gonna start again. Okay? So you could always go back to square one if you're not happy. All right, so right now I have these three to look at. Beautiful. We're happy with these. I'm gonna grab this guy. Oh, I lost my, of course I lost the cap of the glue because, you know, I'm making a gigantic mess. That's all right, don't worry about it. It's not a big thing. All right, now, let's see, what do we have? Oh, we already have some great blue over here. So maybe I'll just do another blue one. Let's see. All right, here's my paper towel. Paper towel, paper towel. All right, let's get that paper towel going here. All right, so this is the last thing we haven't tried. We haven't tried painting directly onto this, a bird, and that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna paint a birdie right on. All right, I'm gonna use my acrylic paint. Now, the reason I haven't done this yet with the acrylic is because I might have to do a couple layers. It may not want to cover the first layer. There are things we can do if it doesn't. But a lot of times when you have something like black under here or something, it might not give you good coverage. I have some magazine page. We have all kinds of different surfaces, and that's part of the reason that it's safer to go with a piece of collage than it is to just paint directly on top. But let's do it as an experiment, and I know what I can do to fix it. If it's not working, I'll just add some titanium white paint to it, and it'll cover without a problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw these guys on, and I'm going to probably put the paint on thicker than I normally do. Okay. Okay. And then I'm gonna do a very dramatic thing here. I'm gonna drop his wing. I'm gonna put his tail here. Okay. And then I'm gonna do this. No, Denise doesn't want to go. I don't want to go. All right. All right. Now, this is what I was afraid of. It's not as vibrant as I wanted it to be. Although, I think like if I put 2 coats on, it'll be fine. All right. I'm gonna do another bird. And let's see where he's coming from. Here, let me do a good coat and then spread it all out. I have an idea. I have a mad idea, of course. I'm always full of mad ideas. Let's see. Here's an idea. Let's see what this guy's doing here. I want to look at my other bird here. He's just going, okay. All right, so now I'm just going to fly this guy here. All right. Michael. Okay. So what I think I'm going to do here is get a couple of nice coats of blue and really brush them out. Get some good coverage on here. When you're painting directly on the card, it's a little bit different. You're not going to get the same look. But we're still going over a collage card. It still looks really good. I might like the collage a little bit better. But what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go over it with a little bit, and I'm going to water it down a little bit, but I'm going to take some of this the gold. Now the gold, and in this case, it's going to work to our advantage because this is a less expensive kind of acrylic paint. It's going to go on thinner. So I'm going to go around and just do a thin layer of this on top, and add some accents with it, but also just kind of pull it through the blue paint and get, it's almost going to be like gold highlights all throughout this bird. And I think that's going to really give it a little pop. Okay. It's also bringing out some of the gold highlights and some of the picture that I have over here, which the gold, there's like a Celtic painting. It has gold elements and the jelly print that it's also picking those up, and it's it's kind of giving it a little bit of an interest, okay? So that's what I'm doing with the gold. And because it's a thinner craft paint, it's almost like it's giving it a little bit of a highlight rather than covering it. It's really kind of more of an accent on here. Here we are. And if I could pull some more blue through if I want in certain areas, if I felt like it was too much, and really kind of adjust it. There we go. I love it. Okay, so I kind of really like how that came out. I really like the gold accents. I'm not going to do that on all of them, just on this one. And I really like the way that came out. I like that very much. Okay, so I think that should give you some like kind of ideas about what you can do with these, you know, either upcycle these cards that you find on sale or ones that you might have left over. And then of course they're just going to fit right back into the envelopes that you have. But they're very interesting. I think they really come out very interesting. They're very different. They're a handmade card. And people will know they're handmade. I mean, you can see that these are not like something you just picked up in the store, but yet, you know, you could just kind of go in and write your little message in there and stuff, and people appreciate that you put the time into them. So I want to thank everybody for coming today. I really do. And I'm going to sign off for now. And I won't be here for a live stream next week or the week after because I'm going to be traveling for the holiday. And I want to wish everybody a really happy holiday season and happy new year. And I will be back after the new year with more live streams. Thank you so much for being here.